welcome to today's conversation. My name is Sean Murphy. I'll be your host here for the next half hour or so. Good morning, YouTube. Good morning, Facebook VIPers. And good morning, Instagram over here. It's good to have you all. Just need to check something here. There we go. So, conversation today is based upon your biggest distraction. We're wrapping up the month of distraction. And in this month of distraction, we've covered a variety of topics from self-talk to activities to setting goals, journaling. Today, the biggest distraction is to understand your self-belief. How do you believe in yourself? That's truly where the biggest distraction is. And that comes from your words, that comes from your experience, that comes from your environment, that comes from your community. There's so many things that are wrapped around this idea of self-belief. I was just looking, and I've been doing some prepping for next month as well. It's on leadership. If you've ever decided that if you've ever thought you wanted to be a part of the Daily Awakening VIP community, that would be a good month to get started next month, October, because it's all about leadership, what it is, what it isn't, right? I've sat with 6- and 7-figure income earners, 8-figure income earners. I've sat with psychologists and biologists and you name it, people who study the brain and study the mind. Leadership is going to be the most sought after. It still is now. What I mean by leadership is going to be the most sought after skill set. It is the softest skill set that's available that requires the biggest change in your hardware. Follow me on this. And that's why I want to talk about self-belief today, because it's leading us into the leadership conversation. So here's some of the topics. Building your leadership muscle, building your leadership mind, two different things. How to ask others to lead. See, that's the biggest challenge most leaders have. That's the biggest reason in this profession of mentors leading mentors, MLM, is about asking others to lead, giving them a chance to step into their own shoes, giving them a chance to step into their own leadership role. How do you coach the reluctant leader? How many of you know? Drop a 1 in the chat if you've got somebody in your organization that you know would be an amazing leader. They would be an amazing teacher, presenter, coach, and they are reluctantly not stepping into those shoes. I'll show you. I'll teach you how to coach those people. I'll teach you how to mentor those people into leadership roles. How about mentoring the challenging leader, the one who's always at your 6 of opposition, not your 6 behind you to find you, but the one that is absolutely struggling, constantly challenging every step of the way. And they don't even necessarily want to challenge you. They just find their existence in challenging you. We'll teach you how to mentor those people around that and coach around that. And then the code of leadership. So that's out of the 12-week program. If you want to learn more about that, go to 12weekswithsean.com, 12 weeks and the number 1, 2, 12, 12weekswithsean.com. And that's the 7 days. And we're going to spend 30 days talking about leadership next month. So this conversation powered by ketones, brought to you by ketones. If you want to get your brain, if you want to truly have a distraction-free brain, if you want to eliminate your brain fog, reach out to me and get your 5-day brain training sample trials. It puts your brain on super drive, not overdrive, super drive and focus. And one of the most recent ones they have is Puddin' Pop, chocolate Puddin' Pop. I just had it this morning. It really tastes like, remember the Puddin' Pops we had in school? Anyways, so distraction, reach out to me, DM me, and we'll figure out how to get you a 5-day trial. So the biggest distraction is your self-discipline, is your self-belief. Oh, I got to show it over here. I just saw it on YouTube. It didn't really show up that well. There you go. Puddin' Pop. Cool. Chocolate flavored. Love it. So the idea that The idea that you don't believe in yourself is hysterical, isn't it? Nobody else can believe in you. Your belief in you can only happen because of you. So how do we change that? How do we upgrade that? How do you advance your belief in you? Well, in the Secret Sauce Academy that I teach, and the Self-Talk Academies that I teach, one of the things that I teach first, let me square up my hat here, Her Majesty's humble servant. One of the things that I teach, one of the activities that I have people do and focus on is to write out a list, and some of you are going to choke on your coffee. Write out a list of 500 things you've done well. Write out a list of 500 things you've done well. I don't know that I've done 500 things well. You did 500 things well before your first birthday. Here's why we have such disbelief in ourselves. Here's why we have such a limiting self-belief. And the biggest reason that we have limiting self-belief is because we are never recognized for the things we do better than average. We are never recognized for the cataclysmic first time ever moments. They get shadowed. They get showered in new moments after new moments after new moments, and we forget everything. That every time we have a new moment, we forget it's a new moment, and we never take any pause. We never take any pause to enjoy the moment. How many of you have ever been skateboarding? How many of you have ever, I'll date myself, rollerblading? How many of you have ever done a live? Your first live. Do you realize the amount of people that haven't done the things you've done? And I'm not talking about social media. I am talking about rollerblade. Listen, the first time I went roller skating was with Mason when he was 7 or 8. I'd never been on roller skates. You know how hard it is to roller skate on gravel? We didn't have concrete when I was growing up. I lived on a farm, gravel driveways, dirt fields, grass-covered lawns. No, we didn't have big all-terrain tires on our roller skates. I didn't know what a roller skate key was. There was a song where it talked about you got the roller skate and I got the key. I didn't know what that meant. Really dating myself at that song. So where does your self-disbelief, where does your limiting belief happen? That you haven't done much. I can promise you, if I were to sit down and we were to have a one-on-one, if we were getting ready for me to begin to mentor you in the intake session, which is about a 90-minute conversation, in those 90 minutes, I will learn more about you than most anybody else on the planet. Kind of scary. Because there's much more than the words and the stories you're telling me. I can see where when you talk about a particular channel of your life, a particular area of your life, how your body shifts, the micro expressions change. I can see when you talk about someone or something, how your body changes. I can see when you talk about a dream, how your body changes. And the disbelief that you have in you, when you become aware of it, when you become conscious of it, when somebody triggers your quotient, your requirements, the design you have of who you are, because that's what you've done, is you've designed your life based upon who you believe you are. Your money consciousness has you exactly at the income level you have. Hey, listen, Alex, congratulations. I did my first IG live on Saturday. Congratulations. That's outstanding. Alex, you are a champion. Thank you for sharing that. And so listen, I want to let everybody else in on another little secret. leaving comments. There's people who are leaving comments on the YouTube channel. I love it. Do you know when you leave a comment and when Alex steps up and says that she just did her first live on Saturday? Do you realize that that's another live that she just did? Right now, live, while this is going on IG, she typed that. That, Alex, is another live. You commenting while my program is going on is you participating with me on my live, leaving a comment for everybody else to read. You realize making comments are public speaking as well. So thank you, Alex. Thank you for being a part of the community. Thank you for being a part of my world. Thank you for inspiring me this morning. And thanks for letting me know you're making the world a better place. See, now, if I asked you one of the 500 things, there's Peggy. Good morning, Peggy. Good evening, Peggy in Singapore. Alex, if I were to ask you, what's one of your 500 things you've done well? You could say, I did my first IG live. See, you may do 1,000 more lives between now and forever. There was always your first one. I learned to kiss someone. You know what I'm saying? I learned to ride a bike. Well, that's not really that big. That's where your problem is that you see all of the things that you've accomplished is not that big. They are big. And the second you give them a little bit of credence, the second you give them a little bit of love, the second you give them a little bit of energy, you start to realize your body literally, I can move somebody's body. I can change somebody's body physically without ever touching them. And simply having a conversation, I can cause their chest to raise. Tony Robbins talks about the 2 millimeters. Do me a favor. If you can sit quietly, if you can sit if you're not traveling or doing anything else, and if you can pay attention for just a moment, I want you to sit with your chest straight up. I want you to feel a little bit of the pull here in your gut muscles, in these muscles that hold down the rib cage. I want you to just feel a little stretch. I want you to tell me, does your body feel different? And then I want you to lower your chest, and I want you to feel the energy shift, and I want you to see how little you have to move your chest to get out of that energy state. Raise it back up, right? Like there's a string, not only pulling your head straight up, but this kind of pulling your chest up a little bit. And see, here's the thing. Please understand, I'm a farm boy from Ohio. And what I'm about to share with you is just human nature. So ladies who are well endowed, God's gave you some gifts. And sometimes it feels like you're carrying 2 of your best friends around on your front and your back, and it's exhausting. Y'all know what I'm talking about? So when you stand up, you become a center of attention. You bring your voluptuousness into more visible sight. I get it. This isn't about them, it's about you. And the second, I was watching in the VIP chat, the second that you drop that your sternum, you drop your chest a little, you get out of state. And when you're out of state, you know what the only thing is you can look for? Strategy, story. When you're here, you're not focusing on strategy. You're not focusing on story. You are literally in state. You put your body in state. And the challenge and the reason that you feel your muscles straining in certain areas, drop an M in the chat if you feel your muscles straining, being stretched a little bit. It's because that's how long it's been since you've been in state. You can't, it is impossible to sit down at your desk and be typing on or writing in your journal and your shoulders are rolled over and your head is down and you're all frustrated and you're like, I'm a champion. Good morning, millionaires. I'm a winner. I'm a billionaire. I'm a top leader in my company. And your shoulders are rolled over and you got this small little energy ball that you're in. Just sit up straight. You all know the Wonder Woman pose, right? You all know the Wonder Woman pose? The Wonder Woman pose, go Google it. It's a TED Talk where she stands up and literally just standing in the Wonder Woman pose, and you can call it the Superman pose for us guys. It adds to your body 40% more capacity to deal with risk, lowers your cortisol levels by 30%. 1 minute, 1 minute. I've been teaching this now for probably 2 years. I can promise you, somebody didn't do it today. It's the greatest little secret. 1 minute, you can change your body. 1 minute, you can change the chemicals in your body. 1 minute, that's too busy. That's hocus pocus. My mentor would say to me, you're right. I'm rich. Let's move on. And riches had very little to do with money. So how do you increase your self-belief? You have to put yourself, do you know how hard it is? How many of you have ever been around somebody who's been sad or they had a breakup and they're teetering on depression? And you're doing everything you can. Drop an E in the chat if you've ever tried to do everything you can to raise someone's spirits and they just didn't want their spirits raised. Drop an E in the chat if you've ever been around somebody who they've just gotten stuck where they're at. And you're showing up and you're talking to them and you're calling them and you're texting them and you're taking them to coffee and you're everything. And they're just staying in their stuckness. You want to know how to change that? You want to know how to fix that? Find their favorite song. Just play it. Get them moving. If you're close friends with them, kind of grab their shoulders and massage them a little bit, shake them, give them a hug, give them a big bear hug. Let your energy flow into them. You cannot talk somebody out of depression. You can talk them into action, which will get them rid of depression. Motion, emotion, energy and motion will create motion. When you move motion, you'll get emotion. When you get motion, you'll get emotion. So you've got to get them to move, even if it's in their mind, and you can move them in their mind to their dream. Do me a favor real quick. Big breath in. I want you to think about your dream vacation. I want you to think about whether it's skiing, whether it's the sand, whether it's the sun, whether it's hiking, whether it's motorcycling, whether it's going through some trails, whether it's just relaxing and 10 minutes alone in the bathroom because the kids are absolutely fascinating at drawing every cent of attention out of you. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that location, where you would be. What would be a sound you would hear? What would be a smile on your face as if you were there? What would be a beverage you would be having? What would be the music playing in the background? I hear steel drums. I lived for 7 years in Puerto Rico, so I've done a lot of work in the Caribbean, and I love the sound of steel drums. Because usually that means there's a beer with a lime in it, or there's some kind of rum drink around, or some kind of fruit punch. It also means that there's a breeze, an ocean breeze that's going. As soon as steel drums hit, there's an ocean breeze. There's the smell of the ocean. There's the sound of people laughing and people dancing. If you're truly in that state, can the smile come off your face? See, I moved you with words, but I couldn't get you out of your state until I moved you. The challenge is most people don't know how to what? Porky Pig, they don't know how to move people. Here's the challenge. If you're in the same hole with them, if you're in the same misery with them, if you're like this and you go, you should be happy. I wish you should be happy. Why aren't you happy? Get over him. He was a jackass. Get over her. I don't know why she cheated. It's just, why do you do that? You should be happier. Do you now realize that when you just sit like this a little bit? Here's the other thing. Do you know why most people kind of suck at communication? I want you to think about this. The next time you have a conversation with somebody on the phone, a Zoom call, a WhatsApp call, a video call, look where they have their camera. Don't they normally have their camera like down here? Like, I'm going to do it on Instagram. Everybody's talking to you, and they're talking to you like this. They're looking down at you, right? Do you realize how disconnected you become to your audience? I have my monitors all up. They're on those floating stands, and I have my monitors up here. So I look up, I'm sitting up, I'm standing up, not standing up. I should be standing up. When I get my office built, I'll be standing up. But the point is that raise your level of communication, literally raise your phone. I talk to so many people in my Zoom calls. I'm always talking down to them. They've always got the phone down because either they shouldn't be on their phone and they're hiding their phone, or they're just lazy and they don't want to hold their phone up like this. They don't want to hold their phone up. It's the craziest thing. So how do you improve your self-doubt? How do you get over your self-talk? How do you improve your self-belief? It's all happening in your brain. You put your brain on ketones, I promise you, brain fog goes away. When you put your brain on ketones, I promise you, your belief in you gets stronger. When you put your brain on ketones, you start to believe in yourself. One of the biggest challenges is that everybody says, well, I'm tired. You've got more energy in your body. You got enough energy in your body to run your municipality, your city. I don't care if it's Dallas or New York. Dallas or New York, you could run it for 3 days. A smaller municipality, there's enough energy in your body to run the city you live in for a week. Go Google it. 1.5 volts. Right? 1.5 volts per cell, and you have 30 trillion cells. You do the math. 50 trillion volts. You got 30, how many cells? 30 billion cells, you got, just think about it. And your brain is consuming 20% of your body's energy, resources, and you want to feed it crap? Listen, how often does the brain run on Cheetos? I'm not saying you've got to go be a Zen Buddhist monk on your food intake. Yes, that's coffee. They're finding out some things, right? All of these things about different things about coffee. But that's got MCT oils in it. Go Google MCT oils in your brain. Medium chain triglycerides. And yes, there's all kinds of quality of MCT oils. Do you do oil pulling in the mornings? I'm talking to you about things you could do right now, things you could start today. Yes, it's a change of habit. Yes, it's a change. Sesame seed oil pulling, put it in your mouth, swish it around for 10 minutes. Some of you won't be able to do that because your cheeks will get sore real quick. Start off with a couple of minutes. Do some oil pulling. Go Google it. Right? The health of your mouth is usually a reflection of the health of your cardiovascular system. You want to start to believe in yourself, just start doing some good things for yourself. Start doing some things that would allow you to believe more in you. First thing I would suggest is write out a list of 500 things you've done well for yourself. 500 things. Oh my God, 500 things? Did you ever pass a test? Did you ever fail a test? Those are things you probably don't, maybe you failed it multiple times, but maybe you only failed it once. Did you learn to drive? Did you ever go bungee jumping, skydiving? Do you ever make a basketball? Do you ever make a free throw? See, when you start, well, you mean I could use little things like that? They're not little things, ladies and gentlemen. This is where you have been duped. This is where you have been lied to. That making a free throw is a little thing. Please be aware of this exercise. It may cause self-confidence. Yeah. When you start to believe in you, it's amazing how you just let other people's bullshit roll off your shoulders. The reason that some of you are pissed off right now is because that's the only place you get identity. Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza says, your personality creates your personal reality. Or your personal reality creates your personality. Which way is the energy flowing into you from the outside universe and it's causing you to become this grumpy Gus? Or sad Sally? Or is your energy flowing out? And you're this triumphant Timothy? Or gratitude, grace? Here's the thing. I need to let you in on a little secret. This is so simple. You're stumbling over it. This is so easy. You're choosing not to do it. You are spending so much time. You are spending so much time avoiding your greatness. You have a phrase in your life that's, yeah, but. When people tell you you're amazing, you butt it out. Stop butting into your own success. Start a list of 500. Send it to me. Or tell me you've done it. In the next week, I'd ask you to write out a list of 500 things. How many of you would like to get a $500 gift if you did 500 things? I will give you access to my private, my fee-paid Science of Getting Rich program. I read the chapters of the book. It's 16 modules. It's 16 hours of Science of Getting Rich. And we talk and we dive into questions that most people don't ever get to ask at the end of each chapter. So you do your 500 things. You send them to me. I will give you access to a $499 program. It's actually probably closer to a $2,000 program. But I will give it to you and let you have access to the Science of Getting Rich, where I walk you through, read the chapters, and throw in my 2 cents every now and then. And as a Science of Getting Rich instructor for the last 20 years, it might be valuable. So I throw that out to you. Go do your list. So here, you're going to get a $500 gift. $1 for everything that you can come up with. Here's why I can do that. Because maybe 1, maybe 2 will do that. And if you're watching this recording, and it's not September 27th, 2022, it's maybe 2023 or 2024, reach out to me and tell me you watched this episode. Episode 1309 of the Daily Awakening. And I'll give you access to the training as well. Why would I do that? A, because I can. B, because I want to make the world a more valuable place. And I want you to have your value in this place. So, if that's the case, then so listen, here it is, Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Go have some great tacos. And listen, I'm not saying you got to go eat everything green and drink alkaline water, although that wouldn't be a bad thing. But put some color in your diet today. Put some color in your dreams today. Remember how amazing you are. And if you really want to put your brain into its highest capacity, into your best capability. If you struggle with keeping decisions made, if you struggle with following through on wants and wishes that you have, it's your brain. You need to upgrade your brain. Go Google your brain on ketones. See how powerful ketones are. See how ketones are actually made in the body. See what things cross the blood-brain barrier. And when you understand all of that, you'll understand the power of your brain on ketones, and you'll reach out to me and you'll get a 5-day trial. Reach out to me. If you want a better body, you want a better income, it all happens in your brain. Let's get your brain tuned in, fired up, turned on. Reach out to me. DM me, and you can get a 5-day trial. I love you tons. I appreciate you. I am your head, a brain training misfit. I will see you all where? At the next event. This conversation powered by ketones. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, have an amazing day. Thanks, everybody, and bye for now. Thanks, Instagram. Love you tons. Let's close this off. And bye for now. There you go. And let's see over here. YouTube, you are amazing. Reach out to me. This conversation powered by ketones. Let's get your brain. You'll be amazed at some of the things that you'll do, the dreams, the sleep, the muscle retention, the skin. Your skin gets better, all of that stuff. So your body's just better on ketones. I love you.